Well, I'm back from Austin, and if you can't tell by my voice, I did bring a little bit of allergies or a cold or something back with me from Austin as well. I had a lot of time to think about stuff on the plane because my mind never ever stops. And this might be sacrilegious. You're probably now wondering, what am I gonna come up with? But it's going to MotoGP and seeing the cult following that Ducati has, and don't think this as a negative thing. I think it's great. It makes a great deal of community. It brings people together. But also this year there was the King of the Baggers race at MotoGP at the Circuit of the Americas. If you guys didn't know, the King of the Baggers thing is basically Harleys and Indians that are not Harleys and Indians. Well, a little bit they are, but they're extensively modified to be road course bikes, which is completely out of the realm for these types of bikes. The cruisers, I guess, can we call them choppers, or we'll call them cruisers, right? Brought something to my mind because we had the Ducati crowd and we had the Harley crowd, and as much as the bikes are completely different, it's kind of hard not to see the similarities between these two brands, because let's think about it. I also saw the statistics that Harley is the #1 selling motorcycle in the United States by far. I think they have 60% of the market share, which is crazy to think about it, because for most of us it's out of the radar, because unfortunately a lot of the sport bike riders or people who ride super nakeds, they're kind of not into Harleys, which I think you should go try one. They're kind of cool. But the fact that Harley has a cult following and so does Ducati, there's no other brand that is on sale in the United States that has such a big following. Yes, everyone has their little micro followings, right? The people with BMWs, the people with Yamahas, Kawasaki's. But when I said cult following, you know a Harley rider when you see one, you know a Ducati rider when you see one, right? You never see a Yamaha crowd or any other type of crowd coming in together in these big numbers. And that's why I just started thinking of all this stuff, and I don't know, am I crazy for thinking like this? I don't know if you guys agree with it, and if you're a Ducati rider, I'm accused of being a Ducati fanboy, so don't hate on me because I'm calling the Ducati the Harley Davidson of Italy. I called Yamaha the Ducati of Japan. That I got a lot of backlash, and I think a lot of you guys didn't see that as a positive, but I think it is a positive. I think I'm onto something, but I'm gonna probably gather more thoughts. I got a few things that I have to do today. It includes working on this DFL V4 that we have. I don't know if you could spot, but we've already done some stuff on that bike, but I want to finish it off because we got to go and do a walk around video, or official walk around of the phase 1 of our DFL V4. And let me quickly show you. I don't know if you can spot the difference on it from the last time. You guys have probably seen it. And yes, it's these pieces here. Nicholas from Auto Laboratory came in and wrapped those things. And what I'm going to do is, we're missing our little Gran Turismo plates over here. I'm going to get those on the other side as well. And then I'm going to check a few things out to see that we didn't miss anything for it to be the phase 1 of this bike. And I think one of the things also is this piece over here. I'm going to put the Rizoma's windscreen that they came out with. I kind of like it because it gets rid of this piece, and not that I don't like this piece, but it takes this bulky piece and puts it up top here with the CNC machine piece. This handlebar attachment, whatever you want to call this, I don't think is the prettiest part of the bike. The piece that goes over it hides it, which is going to make it look really, really nice. And so yeah, let me get my hands dirty quickly. Let's get those things on this bike to get this ready for the walk around video. Well, the first project on this bike is done. Unfortunately, you're not gonna get a good view of it because I have to leave this to settle for, or cure is the correct word, for 1 day, I think. Or I don't know, I gotta read what that urethane says. And this is on this side. And I just have to grab the windscreen right now to put it on. What do you guys think? It looks weird. What if you keep the red here? The red was somewhere here. There it is, the masters have spoken, and all of these guys here said it looked a little bit weird without this red piece. You had this piece over here. I don't know what was I think Herman said it looked angry or something, you said?
Yeah, it looks a little bit mad.
Yeah, to me it looked like it had a unibrow. We decided to put this red piece back on because apparently this works with this. This looks much cleaner. I really like this piece because it hides away a lot of this piece over here. And I think this thing is ready for the walk around. After that thing dries for 24 hours. Well, it's one of those days, guys, that I really enjoy what I do because this is like getting a new toy. I don't know if you guys can tell what this is, but this is the underslung caliper bracket that was done by Matthew from Emesco for us in England. This is the prototype. We're going to try it. Normally what we would do is we actually would 3D print it in plastic and then install it on the bike, and then we'll verify it, but Matthew just CNC machined it and then is waiting for us to verify it. And even though this is a prototype, it's super nice because I don't know if you guys saw me while I was taking it out of the box. I ran my fingers through the edges just to see if there is any sharp edges, and that's how you could tell the finishing of the CNC. This is really cool. Now, I gotta pull the rear wheel out and see if we can install this. And I think the spacing is the same for the stock caliper. It'll be great if you could use the stock caliper, but I really doubt that the stock brake line is gonna work. We're gonna probably get some measurements, but let me show you something, because I tried to pull this brake line back. There's a lot of slack in here. We might be able to get away with just test fitting it, but we're gonna try it, and then I'll let you know, but let's do it. What's up, Patreon? This one didn't. We're gonna make it right. Okay. Put the wheel in. Let's see if it drops. Nice. There we go. I hope that DJ out. Okay, we'll do this as far as possible so that we don't. This is called test fitting. We did test fit our caliper mount. The stock caliper will fit, but I brought a billet caliper just to make sure I could test it on. There are some revisions we have to make. Very, very minor stuff. So some clearance stuff, but everything bolts up and it looks really, really cool. And these TWM chain adjusters actually make it super easy to remove the rear wheel off the bike without messing with the chain adjustments. I'm super happy about that because I'm gonna put back everything to stock so that I could actually ride this bike with the flash that it had on it. My main mission for today was to install this caliper bracket to make sure that we could give feedback to the engineer who designed that for us. I know some of you guys like to comment and say it's only bolt-ons. Well, if you call this a bolt-on, we had this created, we're making adjustments to it, call it a bolt-on. And if you want to comment like that, makes me really happy because you're still commenting. Let me finish this up, and you're going to see me take this bike out for a ride once those pieces cure on there, because I really, really want to take the DFL out for a ride to continue on with my parallel that I drew between Harley Davidson and this DFL V4. But for the time being, I got to put this thing back to stock rear caliper setup so that I could have it for a ride if I want to. Well, good morning to me, and everybody else is here. Daniel is right behind me. Jason is right there, and Herman is admiring the boats in the background if you could see it, but we're not here to go boating, guys. It's 6:30 a.m. on a Friday, and these guys actually woke up so that we could shoot the walk around on the DFL V4. I'm just going to completely photobomb Herman right there, but there you go, guys. Walk around is coming soon, but these things stuck on really well, and this windscreen is looking awesome. We're just going to shoot the walk around, the official walk around of phase 1 of the DFL V4, the Motomillion DFL V4, and I've been really having second thoughts. Do we really paint this thing, or do we keep this red? It just looks so good. I don't know. I'm an early morning person. Don't think it's the early morning thoughts that are coming to me, but I think the bike looks gorgeous as it is. And believe it or not, yes, there's quite a few things that have changed, but it's not an astronomical price tab that this bike has right now with all the parts that we added. And if you don't know what's on it, just check the walk around video, which probably should be posted before this vlog video, and you'll be able to go and check it out. But this is such an awesome bike to ride. I actually rode it from the office all the way to here, and we are here in Coconut Grove in Florida, which is like a suburb of Miami. There's amazing buildings in the background, and there's the water right behind us over here with these boats on the racks. And if you guys don't know, or if you're not from a part of the country or part of the world where they keep the boats on racks, so if you pay money, these are basically boat storage facilities that you could call them and say, hey, I'm coming, please put my boat in the water. They'll take the boats off these racks for you, and then they'll put in the water, so when you arrive you can take your boat out, and then when you come back, because it's salt water, you got to wash your boat every time. They'll wash it and they'll re-rack it for you. It's a pretty crazy operation. We have a few of these here in South Florida, or well, there's a ton of them in the South Florida, but in the Miami region there's quite a few of them. It's really cool, and if you live in Miami, you got to get on a boat for sure. But let's shoot the walk around of this, and then I'm going to take you guys for a ride, because remember, I really think Ducati is the Italian Harley. Well, here I am, guys. I think the walk around was a success, and if you haven't checked out the video, go ahead, because it's live on our YouTube channel, and you don't want to miss out on this beautiful Motomillion DFL V4 in its finished form. And if you could see it on your screens right now, it's adorned with some of the best pieces that are available for this beautiful DFL V4. And just look at this, just the gloss satin carbon, and the red over here by the air intakes. Even this piece over here, I'm a little impartial to it saying made in Italy so big over here. Maybe we'll get it wrapped or something. It doesn't bother me too much, but it kind of didn't have to say it there. It's Ducati, the Italian Harley Davidson. Look at these old men having fun. Oh, good sound check. That's cool. I like seeing people have fun. But getting back to the topic of, is Ducati the Italian Harley Davidson? And I know some of you guys are going to get pretty upset. Another Ferrari right there. I guess it's Miami after all, guys. And I talked about some of the tangible things that you can easily tell, right? People who wear branded clothing and, you know, associated with the brand. Harley people are proud to be Harley riders, mostly. And Ducati riders are mostly very fond of the brand. You could see them wearing Ducati gear even if they're not riding their bike, be it t-shirts, shoes, whatever, you know, bags. And also, let's not forget, there is a term called a Harley rider, right? It's a stereotype of a person who rides a Harley Davidson. It's the same in the sport bike world. There is a stereotype of a Ducati rider, right? And
Sure, it's kind of funny because I take no offense to it, as much as I do have Ducatis as well, and I do ride Ducatis as well. You know, it's the biggest joke is that, number one, the bikes have no miles because they don't ride them. Number two, they ride to their nearest coffee shop, which I myself am guilty of as well, because sometimes you just want to ride your Ducati to the coffee shop. But you see where I'm getting, and let's get to the part that it's not tangible. You know, I think also the bikes are very similar. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're similar in the sense of, you know, Ducatis are not known to be what the Harleys do, right? Harleys are usually, when you say Harley Davidson, you think of the big, bad, muscular American bikes that are meant to go for long cruises on straight roads. But it's the sensation that you get from the motorcycle. And I'm not going to come here and say a Ducati or Harley Davidson is good or bad, but I'm going to tell you that they're both cool motorcycles. And if you have not ridden a Harley Davidson or a Ducati, and if you love the sport of riding, and if you're not just doing it to show off or to satisfy whatever part of your ego to be riding a motorcycle, you would really understand what I mean. Because there is something about Ducatis. I have yet to ride a Ducati that doesn't give you an excitement, even if you're doing what I'm doing right now. I mean, I have maybe gone a couple hundred feet and I keep hitting red lights, but just hearing the bike roar, and this particular Ducati shakes a little bit, not as much as a Harley Davidson, but there is something that you can't, it's hard to even put into words, that this feeling you get, this feeling that the bike has, it has character. And I'll put some Ducati jokes out saying that, you know, Ducatis were known to be leaking, yes, ha ha ha, and we did have a few leaking Ducatis, ha ha ha. Same thing with Harley Davidsons, right? A lot of people joke around in that world where they say, you know, it's leaking and all that, but it's also just the character they have. And these, I can't think of any other brand name in general that has a lineup of motorcycles that all have that distinct character. It's no secret that I love the Yamaha R1 and the R1M platform, because again, those bikes have a very distinct character that no other bike has. But some other offerings from other brands can be pretty dull. And for example, like an S1000RR, it's an amazing machine, but it has no character. It's very sterile, it's very German, it's very engineered. Whereas something like this, especially this motorcycle, is, I mean, other than running over people, this is so much fun. Just, I'm not even going fast, I'm going 30 miles an hour. And also this bike is very similar to a Harley Davidson in terms of, Harleys are known to be cruisers, and this is what Ducati calls a super cruiser, right? So this is technically a Harley Davidson that works. I don't want to piss off Harley people, but I mean, their bikes work too. But like I said, go ride a Harley, guys. The first time I rode a Harley, and I still go, I don't own any Harleys, but I will rent Harleys time to time just to go do Harley things, just to go cruise to the Keys, or just to, you know, bomb around town a little bit. But first time you hit the front brakes, your heart is gonna sink, because the bikes don't stop. You got to use your rear brakes as well. But they are comfortable. They have this feeling that no other bike gives. But this particular DFL V4 is a really good example. And when I first rode a DFL, I was like, oh my goodness, this is actually like a Harley, but it's much sportier, and I guess the brakes work, it's nimble and light. The only Harley Davidson that I could that I think is very similar to what a DFL was a V-Rod. But if you guys know the V-Rods, they're fantastic motorcycles, but they did have their own quirks and problems too, and the brakes again were pretty lackluster for a motorcycle of its speed. I don't know, are you guys following me on this? Because I know that I'm going to step on a lot of toes and get people's blood boiling when I make the statement, and I already did make this statement, but I really think that these two brands are the two staples of the motorcycling world we have right now. One is a cruiser, it is very American. The other one is very European, right? Because their bikes are beautiful. You can't come and say they make an ugly motorcycle. Even I had to eat my own words when I first saw this DFL V4 in person, because when I saw the pictures of it and the press launch videos, I was like, what is this thing? You know, it doesn't look good. And then when I saw it in person, I was like, oh my goodness, the curves on this bike, the way it looks, and especially the way that we have this right now, oh my goodness, you know, with all the carbon and that dished rear wheel. And even the license plate mount of this bike is like a Harley Davidson. Now we got the side mount that people put on their Sportsters. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not on this, and I would like to open up the discussion on this topic to see if Manny's gone crazy, or you tell me, how many times a day do you see someone Ducati'd out from top to bottom wearing Ducati gear even though they're not riding their bike? And same goes for the Harley Davidson crowd. And if you come and say yes, you see that, and or you've realized it, means I'm onto something. But I don't want to ramble on anymore, guys. I want to really enjoy this beautiful, beautiful machine now that it's done its phase 1 form. And again, I want to remind you the walk around video of this amazing machine is up on our YouTube channel. Go and check that video out. It's a very understated build, as we like to do, but it is a very, very cool bike. And now it has everything that it deserves to have. And now that we know that, or Ducati somewhat confirmed that they're not making S model, this minus the Olin suspension might as well be the S model that they never released. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.